Trinkets and trash was the past, but Globoforce is the future of employee recognition programs. Dubliner Eric Mosley's software allows staff in 135 countries to send personalised thank you emails with gift vouchers attached. Globoforce's thank you moments help improve performance 50,000 times a day.
Walmart has nearly 2 million employees. That's a country. GE has over 300,000 employees. And when you have that many employees, you end up having your own culture. You have your own traditions, your own history. They're just enormous organisations. And it's very hard to get all of those people headed in the right direction. So management and CEOs look at this and they say, well, how can we, get people to care more? And it comes down to basic common sense. If you're an individual and you have to work the weekend because of some proposal that's due on Monday, for example, and you do that, you work all weekend on that proposal and you come in on Monday and nobody notices, nobody cares, nobody thanks you, there's no appreciation. Well, the first thing you think is, I'm never working the weekend again, because it's just human nature. Whereas if you come in on the Monday and you find that your colleagues are thankful, you have a documented history that you've been given an award for doing that piece of work, what happens then is you feel better about doing it the next time. So if you take that micro example and blow it up over hundreds of thousands of people, you basically increase the discretionary effort of a global workforce. If you can increase the engagement levels of your employee base by 15%, for example, you'll get a corresponding 2% increase in operating margin. Because these companies are so enormous and their market caps, the value of those companies is so enormous, that can actually increase their shareholder value by literally $50 billion. It's an enormous return for something very simple. We're having a ring the gong moment about Quintiles. Quintiles is our newest launch, and I saw in our logs over the past week or so that they've got off to a fantastic start. So quick ring the gong, hold your ears. I say I'm in the thank you business. We power the appreciation in these global companies, and there can be some cynicism around that. But I have to say, when you're talking to a VP of HR of a global company, in that audience, there's no cynicism, because they're trying to herd 100,000 people in the right direction, and they're basically craving any tool to help them do that. We've kind of dovetailed with a market trend. We're now at the stage where we have over 1 million Fortune 500 employees live on our platform, actively nominating each other for awards. It happens hundreds of thousands of times every quarter. I would fear no company in terms of that they might have more resources, they might be 20 times the size of Globoforce. So for me, it's about, we can do it and we can beat all the competition every single time.
In business, he's no traditionalist. But since he set up HQ in Boston, the birthplace of the revolution has become a playground for the whole family.
Well, we're heading over the other side of the North Bridge, which is the place where the American Revolution started. All the American revolutionaries were over that side, and they shot over here. And that was a famous shot that was heard around the world. So it's quite a historic place, really. A few years ago, when we were still really based in Ireland, we looked at our customer list, and there was no doubt that the top customers we had were all the European subsidiaries of American companies. And so we realised that our product was more suited to a US corporate culture. And that's how it's played out. I mean, 90% of our revenues come from the US now. We ended up in Boston because we hired our first salesperson in the US, and he lived in Boston. And so I used to come over all the time to Boston to meet him, and I just got to know the area, got to know where it was a good place to live, and just felt natural then to move here. You have to look at these things as an adventure.